the story, we are shown a man who says he doesn't understand why he has been summoned to this fantasy world. The man said he lived well on Earth. He was an ordinary, cultured human who loved anime and comics like every normal person, so he doesn't understand why he had to be summoned like the other losers in reincarnation stories. We are not shown who the man is talking to, but immediately after he finishes his conversation, he goes to face the Demon King. This is a fantasy world ruled by power, or as the man referred to it, a utopia for savages. This man is a hero who was chosen as the Apostle of Justice. Although he didn't give himself that title, the natives of this world summoned him and started to call him hero as they pleased. Immediately after he introduces himself, we are shown a man sitting on a throne. This man is the Demon King, or as he referred to himself, the pinnacle of evil. But the man refers to him as his train ticket back to Earth. As they were about to fight, the man decided to ask the Demon King a question. He just couldn't understand why the Demon King stood by as his subordinates were killed for 10 years. The Demon King said he never stood by, he instead sent stronger subordinates to attack the hero. The hero replied that those subordinates also died. He thinks the Demon King could have easily won if he had just fought him from the beginning. Every time the Demon King's subordinates were killed, he would get even stronger. He refers to the Demon King as his biggest sponsor. The Demon King denies this claim. Upon hearing this, the man didn't care anymore. He just wanted to escape this savage world and return as a cultured citizen on Earth. The hero had spent 10 years in this world. He was already strong enough to defeat the Demon King. In his last moments, the Demon King asked the hero if this strength of his came as a result of losing his comrades. The hero was annoyed and he said no, his strength came from his training. When the Demon King died, the hero was shocked, but he didn't care. He shouted he had finally defeated the Demon King and he would like to return to his world. The hero promised to respect his parents, date, game, eat, and most importantly use a toilet. After saying this, the hero sees a mysterious woman. At first, he thinks she is the hidden boss, but she turns out to be the god of the fantasy world. The god said the path of a hero is tough and that he had formed different bonds and friendship, and with this he was able to destroy the evil Demon King. The god then brings out the hero report card. Of course the hero did not expect this. On his report card we are shown the hero's name. His name is Kong Han-soo, his combat power is S, his achievement is A, his reputation is D+, and his character is F. The remark on his report card says, "Why did you kill your perfectly sane comrades?" We are then shown his dead comrades. The excuse Han-soo gave was that his teammates were hindrances to him, so he ambushed and killed all of them. Han-soo continues by saying if he had a list of the unfair things he went through because of his comrades, he won't be able to finish the list. According to Han-soo, his teammates interfered and impose on his life daily. The training was pretense of act violence and disrespecting human right. He made an example of when his teammate, who he refers to as crazy bitch, carelessly showed her naked body and wielded a sword against him. According to Han-soo, his revenge was justified. The god tells him that he failed. She tells him with great power comes great responsibility, so he is going to have to retake the test. Immediately she tells him this, a weird circle appears under him. When Han-soo notices this, he calls the god a spoiled god who is trying to send him back to a world without toilets. He was very angry that his comrades that he killed will be alive and well. As Han-soo was going, the god says a professional special instructor has been dispatched. We can see Han-soo is back to his first day in the fantasy world. In the next scene, we can see Han-soo in his high school among friends. His friends were discussing about wanting to go to a fantasy world and saving a princess from a demon king to marry her. Han-soo's other friend disagrees and wishes he would use his knowledge on science to develop a nuclear weapons and blow up the world. They ask Han-soo what he wants to do in a fantasy world. In that moment, Han-soo was looking at a toilet. Seems like he really likes it. As Han-soo was about to reply, he was summoned, and that was Han-soo's last conversation before he was summoned. Han Su returned back to the circle he was summoned in 10 years ago. Han Su referred to it as the hero kidnapping circle. Although what really pissed him off was that he had lost all the items he worked for, all he has left are his memories. In that moment Han Su remembers the god's words, which were, "You have failed." He was so pissed off that he accurately remembers the number of hours and days that leads to 10 years. According to Han Su, 10 years is enough time for a middle school student to graduate from the university, while he spent his 10 years receiving disdain and humiliation from his comrades. While thinking, Han Su hears a voice saying, "Welcome, hero." This voice belongs to Lenovel. This girl, or bastard as the hero refers to her, is the one who spoke to him first when he was summoned. Lenovel is the one who summoned Han Su to this world. She immediately tells Han Su not to be confused, that he needs to come to his senses right now. She says this world is called Fantasia. It is a different world from which Han Su grew up in. After explaining to Han Su that his mission is to destroy the Demon King, she then introduces herself with a smile. Han Su, being a student in puberty, was mesmerized, but after spending 10 years in this world he quickly destroyed his feelings by telling her that she kidnapped a person who was living well and thinks that the situation is funny. Upon hearing this, Lenovel couldn't help but apologize. Suddenly a knight came in to tell that Han Su that the king is waiting for him. To their surprise, Han Su says he was also waiting. Han Su asked the knight how many heroes exist in this world, to which the knight replied only one. According to Han Su, if he is not here the world will be destroyed, so if the king wants to greet him, he should come himself, and if they have any problem with it, they should fight the Demon King themselves. After saying this, Han Su is suddenly taken into another dimension. In this dimension, he hears a voice say he should lower himself. Immediately this happens, Han Su notices space is distorted and he has never met such a person. He asked her who she is. She introduces herself as a special instructor who was dispatched to help Han Su become a brave hero. Han Su quickly figures out that the woman is there to interfere with his actions. This pisses off Han Su because he doesn't understand why he had to start over again, since he killed the Demon King and he left nothing behind. The instructor replies by saying that is the problem. According to the special instructor, failure is the mother of success. But Han Su didn't fail, so he never learnt from his failure, so a special instructor was appointed to him to nag him every time. The instructor said that good people are like water because water doesn't hurt but help things around it. The instructor hopes Han Su can become a deep ocean who helps his comrades. After she left, Han Su was pissed. He says he prefers to fight the Demon King over going through all this stress. Upon seeing how frustrated Han Su was, Lenovel asked him if he is feeling any side effects of the dimension travel, as it is something that hasn't been tested before. Han Su knows that even if he were to share his problem, his worries would still be there because special instructors are people who raise heroes. Han Su compares the process he is going through as kidnapping ordinary people and raising them into heroes. What makes Han Su more annoyed was that he doesn't know the purpose of this organization. He is quite sure they can kill him easily since they sent him from the future to the past. He decides to cooperate with them until he can find a clear alternative. He decides to meet the king. Han Su chooses to battle the king in order to get what he wants, as he isn't a citizen of this country and he is not obligated to obey his kidnappers. He is basically going to fight for his right. Han Su knows that if this world collapses, he won't be able to return back to Earth. So he has to find a system that favors both the worker and the employer, or as Han Su calls him, the useless king. Some of Han Su's thought was leaked out, and the knight warns him to be careful with what he says to the king. Han Su laughed because he knows no one will hit the one and only hero. Immediately after he laughed, a man attacked him. Although Han Su dodges the man's punch, he knew he couldn't face the man right now with his current skills. After the attack, Lenovel immediately stopped the man called Alex, who turns out to be the palace knight captain. The knight captain told Lenovel to not worry as Han Su is not dead. Han-soo explains why he doesn't like these people, or as he refers to them, savages, because they kidnap people and use violence on them. Han-soo says they just used him and threw him away like a toy, but this time Han-soo was going to make a change. He brings out a pen and used it to attack the knight captain. Although he couldn't do it how he wanted to because his body couldn't keep up, he still used his 10 years of experience to give him a wound. If you guys want part 2 of this video, let us know in the comments section below. Also, before you go, don't forget to like and smash that subscribe button. See you guys later.